The girl should have said something.
We did. We said we don't want to learn how to cook rice. And Lee wanted to be the treasurer.
And she could have been, but she said she'd be secretary instead. We let her do that too.
She only said that after all of the men said they wanted one of us girls to be a secretary.
Remember what we were talking about last week about me going back to work?
Uh-huh.
Well, I've decided I'm going to apply to a few firms.
Okay, sure. Sounds good.
And not for secretary jobs this time. I want to be a paralegal, you know, put my certificate to use.
Okay. Paralegal. Wait, what? That's not what we discussed. You said you were going back to work for your old firm as a secretary. Why didn't you volunteer if you knew she wanted to be treasurer?
I don't want to be a secretary.
Well, somebody has to do it. We need somebody to take notes. We need a record of everything. But you're so good at it.
Anyone can be a secretary.
It didn't have to be one of us girls.
Plus, I have my paralegal. I'm way overqualified to be a secretary.
Honey, it's a perfect job for you. Come on. That's what they usually do anyways. Remember when we first met, you were that banging secretary over at the firm on Washington? You with that skirt and those legs. Perfect knockout. Why make work harder? You do that secretary job practically blindfolded.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. That's what everyone always thinks. But
It's not that I wasn't a good secretary, it's just I can do a lot more.
You girls always complain about how us guys never help with the domestic work, but it's not really like you want to do domestic work.
Of course you would agree with him.
Come on, you wouldn't want to do the work that paralegals do. You'd probably just bitch and moan.
I'm not agreeing with anyone. I'm just making a point. I mean, isn't it true that girls don't really want to do the guys' work? To wake up extra early just to kill the pig? I'd trade that for dishes any day.
It's not the same.
Come on, Britt, you got it easy. Secretary job's a piece of cake. Why would you want to be a paralegal anyways? You could just sit around, type a little here and there, and chit-chat on your phone. I'd trade that for paperwork and tax returns any day.
You would think that's all a secretary does.
You don't care about all this stuff because it doesn't affect you all the time.
It's not that I'm looking for an easy job or an easy way out. I just want to follow my passions and put my certificate to use, you know, the one I earned when I was like 20.
We make sacrifices all the time, and it's something that's culturally related. But so-called women's work, that affects us every day. And I don't want to touch pig intestines because, well, who does, right? That's why I don't want to do guys' work. We don't get a break from doing the dishes during the week.
I don't want a break. I just want to do what I love. I can't believe you would say that I wasn't looking for a job anymore. That message was left for me to call them back, not for you.
We already gave you what you wanted. You're the treasurer. Sweetie, I got a surprise for you. Come on now. I pulled a few strings back at the office and they got your old job back. Isn't that great?
That's not the job I wanted. You knew that.
What more do you want?
What you said during the meeting about the girls wiping the sweat for the thing players was so degrading and offensive.
My, calm down.
That was perfectly true. The other girls are fine with it.
Fine, he's just kidding anyways.
Sweetie, I was just trying to help. And let's be honest, in these times, it's the best job you're gonna find.
It's not about whether we're okay or we're fine with it or not. What are we, their servants?
What is that supposed to mean? Do you honestly believe that?
You have to understand, that's the way of our culture. It's not an idea I just had. Our daughters have to know their duties. I mean no offense, but why put yourself through all that stress? I'm here for you. I work hard so you can work smart. Save yourself the headache. Besides, it's the job that suits you.
It's a good point. I mean, maybe he understands it's not totally fair in our culture, but not a lot of other guys do. We have to put up an image for them.
That's not the point. That has nothing to do with pleasing other people's idea of what a woman's role is. You always talk about how us girls, how we have the right to speak up, how we should speak up during these meetings. But then you go ahead and say something like that. You never listen.
You had no right calling back that firm. That's not the job that I wanted. You can be such an ass for me.
Ugh, it
If you have something to say, do it properly. 有咁多嘢係全部係做路。
你而家喺這件事呢多事 How come the women are never included on the conversation? 同你談呢最好條子呢事，呢全部就幫你做幾啥？你有冇努力注意中意家裡 You never ask for our opinions.
That's because those women know their place. They don't want to disrespect their husbands, so they stay silent. They know what makes them valuable. Nothing those gossiping hounds ever say is ever relevant. That's why us men always make the final decision.
I know what's best. You'll see, I may be an asshole, but I'm right. Go ahead, try the paralegal job. No one's gonna take you seriously. They're just gonna laugh in your face, and at best, give you the secretary job. I'm trying to protect you from the business world. You should be alright.
Those women, your daughters, your mother, your wives.
And they know their duty. I taught them to be silent, and they'll stay that way. Your father should have taught you better.
You've got to learn your place. If you're gonna leave this kitchen,
This is disgusting. You don't deserve to be.
oh, come on. It's probably because of all the movies you're watching, like Legally Blonde. It's obviously Hollywood's fault.
It's obviously your father's fault that you're like this.
Don't you dare! It's disgusting, ignorant. You don't deserve to be a father. Fuck off, man. You're own fucking.